Philadelphia-based singer-songwriter Meghan Cary's music career began as an unintentional triumph. She earned Billboard magazine's esteemed Critics' Choice for the Best Newcomer for her debut New Shoes. Up until then, she was a theater actress with over 100 credits for her work in the U.S. and Europe, and she had a successful voiceover career. When her fiancé Matthew Black unexpectedly died, she picked up his guitar and wrote her debut album, followed by 2 other albums, which, by the way, got raves from Global Muse, I should say, and CosmicBlues.net. And then she dove into a successful folk circuit music career. After marrying and having children, Meghan began performing again, and on January 31st, 2012, she released her first album in 6 years. There's much more to say about my guest, but I'm just going to welcome Meghan.
Hi.
Thanks for being on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
I appreciate it. I wanted to ask you, I gave you a long introduction there.
Yeah, you did.
To say how long you've been writing songs and how long you've been performing music.
I've been writing and performing for a long time. I kind of took a break to have 2 kids, to get married and have 2 kids. And like you said in the introduction, I came back to it and released my record, Building This House, and have been sort of head first back in, swimming around in it since then. So it's I feel like I've been back for 2 years. That's how I feel about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to do one of your songs.
Okay, so this first song that I'd like to play is actually it's one of my older songs, but that I wrote before that little break that I took. But I'd stopped playing it because it wasn't working for me. That it didn't. I liked the story, I liked the song, except that it didn't feel like the music was serving the story, so it just kind of fell through the cracks. And then I actually pulled it back out because it fit beautifully into a play that I'd written. And so I pulled it out for that, and I threw it at the guys in the band. I said, the song doesn't work. And they did that thing they do. And they shifted up some chords, and we recreated a little of the melody, and we came out with this song, which is now one of my favorite ones to play, and one that I wrote way back when I first started writing. It's called 0 Miles Per Hour. Weatherman says the wind's out of the southeast today, traveling at 0 miles per hour. That's pretty damn slow. I need to know is where's the air that's gonna lift these beads of sweat from my brow. Where are you in now? The wind through the trees, it tends to ease my mind, blowing the clouds around reveals a silver lining. What I need to know is where's the breeze is gonna ease these furrowed lines from my brow. Where are you in now? And you told me that you'd come back like the wind into my life, to remind me of all the things I learned through the sorrow and the strife. And I'm listening for the wind now as it brushes through the trees, and I'm praying that you'll answer me with a rustle of the leaves. Answer somehow. Where are you, wind, now? Where are you in now? I wish the wind would carry me through my everyday. Its absence leaves me wondering why I came this way. What I'm praying for is a gale to blow my mind and leave behind these thoughts of you. Oh, now, come on, wind, blow through. And you told me that you'd come back like the wind into my life. Remind me of all the things I learned through the sorrow and the strife. And I'm listening for the wind now as it brushes through the trees. And I'm praying that you'll answer me with a rustle of the leaves. Answer somehow. Where are you, wind, now? 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 Where are you, wind,
Ah, Megan, I like that song.
Thank you.
And that, is that an older song for you?
That is an older song. That is, it's actually, there's a version of it on my second CD, my sophomore release. Wait, go down there. And, but it's a completely different version.
Uh-huh.
So I have them both, I have them both recorded. We just recorded this one. It's not on any record yet, but I'm trying to put together an acoustic record.
Oh, okay.
For 2015, so that's on there, and a couple others.
And you're going to have your band with you on
yeah.
that?
Yes, but we probably will keep it pretty stringy, and of course Peter on the keys. Instead of kit, I play with a kit drummer a lot, but he'll probably just be doing some of the high tinkly stuff and hand drums and stuff. Like
Okay.
That. Yeah.
In terms of our songwriting topic today, I wanted to ask you about melody. How you get melodies? Do you do it the same way? Do you do it different ways?
I do it differently all the time. And what's interesting is, so I went away from the songwriting thing, and then I came back. But I woke up January 2nd, Friday this year, and I had this bug up my butt. I was like, I just wish that I was writing songs like I used to, writing more songs. And I was like, I just haven't been writing lately. And then I had this big aha moment when I realized that if I wanted to be a prolific songwriter, I just had to write prolifically. So I made a deal with myself that I would write one song a week for 2015. So far, I've written 4 so far since January 2nd, and it's different. I'm writing them differently than I used to. I think part of that is because when I first started writing, I knew 3 chords. And I do write with a guitar. So what I found, it's so interesting that this is the question that you had, because what I've found is that I tend to still write with 1-4-5. Like I write, and I even tend to write in G, because those are the first chords I know, with G, D, and C.
Me too.
Yeah, right. And I have a lot of songs in G. So so as always, I come up with the stories first, and then I'll get some lines that are telling the story, and they'll have a rhyme scheme to them, and I'll start the story, and then I go and I try to put some music to it. And a lot of times I'll just get a little tune in my head, and then I go to the guitar and I guide it with these simple chords. But then that's how I get the story down on the page, and the structure, and I got my verses and my chorus, and then I go back, and this is the part that's new, is that now that I know some more chords, more vocabulary, I go back and I'll try substitutions. Instead of that D, I'm like, what happens if I go to the B minor here? And where does that pull the melody? And oh my gosh, that pulls it here. And oh, you know what? This becomes a bridge. So I go back. I have the basic thing, and then I go back, and sometimes I'll just change the whole key. Because I was like, there was one song that I did last week, and I was like, this song actually is going to be a banjo song. So I'm gonna put it in the key of D because D is such a great banjo key. So like I changed the key and then that changed everything. Or instead of doing an A minor, just take, I don't even know what the chord is, where you take your finger off the B string. So you take the
right.
So you're taking the C out of it, and it just pulls this tension, and then that makes me want to go to a different chord. So so that's what I've been doing in my newly prolific songwriting year.
Well, it just shows that you can what's the word? Develop your melodies over time in terms of like expanding what you do.
And that's something that's always existed. Well, the song that I just did was a completely, not completely, it was in the key of G, but the melody was very different, and that evolved. Or this one another one that I was writing last week I woke 2 in 1 week, so I got a week off. That's why I'm here. I don't have to be writing. But so the one that I was writing, I got it down, and I know it's going to happen the way it's happened with so many other songs. I'm going to go play this on Saturday, this song called The Guitar. And I'm probably going to rewrite it in front of the audience. It's what, I'm like, what happens if I go here? And Peter, who'll be playing along with me on the keyboard, will be very annoyed, but he'll follow me. And then, and it will evolve. And probably by the summertime, it's going to be a different song. So I don't want to record it until then.
I have to tell you this story, and this is the kind of stuff I do periodically, is my first CD, I had a CD release party at the place that used to no longer around the Point. Did you ever go to the Point?
Yeah, that's how I first met Richard Carden. I love the Point. Yep.
And so I thought originally I was just going to be me and the guitar, but most of the people that played along wanted to play. I mean, these are really good players. One guy used to play with us, Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, cool.
The guy that recorded, Dawood Charles, was a drummer for Van Morrison. The guy that played fiddle plays with these country. Anyway, so we didn't have time to practice. So we started the first song. First of all, and all of a sudden, all these people, it's like, oh, I'm not used to playing with a bunch, and it kind of freaked me out for about 2 seconds, But then later, one of the songs, I forgot to put the capo on. So I'm playing in C, and everybody else is playing in D. And they're laughing, of course.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I've done that. Oh my God, I've done that. And I've had my Stacy, my banjo player, looking at me, going. And then I'm like, yeah, cool. What? And I'm like, what, will you? Because everybody's not playing the right thing. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
I forgot to put the capo on. But yes,
that's funny.
I've had dates like that.
Let's hear another song.
Okay, so as we're talking about the evolution of songs, this is one that, again, this was written, I started this a long time ago, and in fact, I had a young filmmaker who was like, oh, I love this song, I want to make a video of it, and I was like, no, it's not ready, I don't like this song. I had it in my head, I just didn't like it, I thought it was something, and I did end up, I put it away for years, and then I pulled it back out and wrote a third verse, which helped immensely, wrapped the story. And once the story is there for me, then I'm usually pretty happy. Like that's but the music still had some growing to do. But I started playing it. And this is how I met my banjo player. I was at this at Spring Thing or Fall Fling, one of the two. And I was playing this song, and she came up, and I'd heard her play, and she was fabulous. And she came up, and she's like, oh, we've been talking about jamming. Do you want to jam? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I said, let me see. Let me play something that I think that you could play on. She goes, well, what were you just playing? I'm like, oh, no. I said, that's not a banjo song. I said, there's nothing bluegrass about that song. And she said, very seriously, I don't do bluegrass. She's poor, but she's honest. She begs, but she don't steal. She offers me a blessing in exchange for her next meal. She must know what I'm thinking, the words that I don't say. If I don't acknowledge you, perhaps you'll go away or go away. I wish he'd go away. I see him on my corner, cardboard for his bed, and he holds a conversation with the voices in his head. And I'd like to think he has a home, a family somewhere, but I pass him every day and I pretend that he's not there, that he's not there. I wish he wasn't there. Responsibility. Who do I turn to set my conscience free? How can your eyes touch a perfect stranger? Oh, the burden of your life. Can it really? Does it really rest on me? This responsibility. Does it really rest on me? This responsibility. She holds a baby to her breast. Her hand reaches to me. She asks not for herself, but for her hungry family. And I lose her voice so easily. Within the city sounds, but the cooing of a baby makes me stop and turn around. I turn around. Thank God I turn around. But now where do I go with this responsibility? Who do I turn to set my conscience free? How can your eyes touch a perfect stranger? Oh, the burden of your life. Does it really rest on me? This responsibility. Oh, I believe it rests on me. This responsibility. I believe it rests on me. I believe it rests on me. I believe it rests on me, this responsibility. It rests on me. Rests on me.
Name of that song again?
I just did a song called Responsibility.
Okay.
Responsibility, and that's actually on my new record. But again, it's the new one that I did 2 years ago now, so it's no longer new. And it's evolved so much, so it's going to be on the new record.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
We have our Skype interview now.
Awesome.
Our Skype interview is with a performer, Connor Garvey, and you said you know him, or you like him a lot.
I love Connor Garvey. Connor, you're fabulous. I know he's stick around. He is so amazing. Yeah.
And he is an award-winning songwriter from Portland, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And among the other awards that he has, he's a winner of the Kerrville New Folk Contest, and also Rocky Mountain Folk Festival singer-songwriter winner, showcase winner.
So I'm not the only one who likes him, see?
No. and both of those were in last year, 2014.
Yeah.
You know, wow. So we're going to take a listen to him, and then we'll be back. Connor Garvey is a performing songwriter from Portland, Maine. His unique sandy tenor and masterful blend of rhythm and melody draw comparison to Paul Simon and contemporaries Josh Ritter and Jason Moran's. He wins song competitions. He fills rooms, but most of all, he moves people. This combination of songwriting and performance strength has earned Garvey numerous awards, including being named winner of the Kerrville New Folk the Rocky Mountain Folk Fest, the Solar Fest Songwriter Showcase winner, and the Falcon Ridge Festival Most Wanted Artist. And most amazing, these songwriting contests all occurred in 2014. Connor, thanks a lot for being on the Performing Songwriter.
Glad to be here. Thanks so much, Ray.
I was going to ask you to say a little bit about your history of performing and songwriting.
Yeah. Where to begin? Well, I've been playing and performing for a while. I started in middle school. I just was always drawn towards music, and at that stage of life in particular, playing with my rock band. My best friend and I were both drummers. He was a better drummer, so I picked up guitar so we could make a band, and that turned out to be a good decision because he's still a much better drummer. and I got into playing, and really from the start, I found I was most drawn towards the songwriting process, and I enjoy learning other people's songs immensely, but what has always fueled me to keep going has been the process of writing, and with that, the process of performing. So I've been doing it for a while. I've been doing it professionally for the last 6 years, and it's a really wonderful world to be connected to, and I'm fortunate to be able to make my living at it.
Okay. We have two discussions today, and the first one is a songwriting topic. And I wanted to ask you, in terms of your melodies, do you have a certain technique that you use, or different ones depending on the situation? How do you come up with your melodies?
Coming up with the melodies. Well, I think the melody is a really interesting and mysterious thing to think about often in the songwriting process, and that there are so many different facets to the song, and I think that's part of what you're getting at in your interviews, is that you can just take a small look from time to time at all these different little aspects of the songwriting process and see their worth. And melody is a really powerful and as I said, mysterious thing in a lot of ways. I think for me, it comes down to a balance for what are you trying to achieve with your song, and how can you go about getting there. And when we think about vocal phrasing, I work as a singer. I don't do much in the way of melodic movements on the instrument. It tends to be more chordal support for the melody and the voice. But when we think of a vocal approach, there's different ways that we can get our message across. We can use the volume or the intensity of our voice, or the phrasing and the timing of the way that we say words. And then melody is what weaves it all together. And so for me, I think some of the things that really come into play when I'm figuring out how to put a melody to a song are, first off, really valuing what organically comes along with the lyrics and the chords. As a starting point, the chords that we're using and the words that we're using, they steer us towards certain melody choices in their own ways. Whether it's just the notes that whether it's the notes that we're choosing to build our melody around, or if it's the general mood that we're going for. So I think that just valuing what we initially want to hear, and as a part of that, I think before intentionally thinking about how to map out a melody is really just increasing our vocabulary of notes throughout the process of performing music. And if we're playing all songs in a 1, 4, and 5 pattern, that's really what we're drawn towards. It's going to be relatively limited in what we go to for a melodic choice. However, if let's say you're performing and you really value cowboy poetry, or performing songs in very simple manners by choice, if you take time and you learn some more jazzy phrasings, it might not have anything to do with your genre of choice or your profession or where you want to write your songs, but every step of the way you're expanding what your ear hears. And whether it's something that you can play or something that you listen to, when we expand what our ears hear, it gives us different freedoms when we're coming up with our own melodies, because we're used to hearing things, or we want to hear things in different ways, and slightly dissonant notes might be a choice because you heard it in this awesome, Joni Mitchell song that you're listening to, and so I think valuing what the template that we're working with. So all of that is like the preamble to say like what kind of comes to the point of when we start to put our melodies together. And for me, it's I can keep going. You can insert any other additional questions, but I'm all amped up on this, so I'm just rolling.
As you do a song, we'll hear a melody.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I'll lead into this song, and just with the idea that when we're talking about melody, there's the initial melodies, and then putting some time into, once we've got it down or we've got a blueprint, what can we do to expand it? Where are the notes that are going to lift it and move it into different places? And so this is a song where the melody is relatively simple, but choosing to have the second verse have a little bit more of a lift, and the chorus was really simple by choice so that people can sing along with it. And so a lot of the melodic choices are about where do we want to kind of grab people and where do you leave them and with resolution and the such. So this is a song that actually is just a week or two old, but that's why it's in the forefront of my mind for thinking about melody, because I was just working through it. But this is a song called Lantern. From the comfort of my home, over morning coffee, watch the world explode. Watch the world explode. From across the ocean and across the street, watch the world explode. Watch the world explode. About my day, nothing is wrong. Go about my day. Another kid got shot, and another's hiding. Some blame the shadows, let the shadows grow, and go about our days like nothing is wrong. Go about our days. We need a lantern tonight. We need a lantern tonight. We need to step into the darkness and carry with us light. And carry with us light. From the comfort of my home, over morning coffee, I watch the world explode. I watch the world explode. We need a lantern tonight. We need a lantern tonight. We need to step into the darkness and carry with us light. We need a lantern tonight. We need a lantern.
second, new song.
Hey, cheers, thanks.
Our performance topic today is right before you're ready to go in front of the audience. Do you do anything to kind of get yourself prepared?
Yeah, I do. I feel like if I have any universal preparation, it's this idea of trying to come back to a sense of intention before stepping on stage, and sometimes that means elevating, getting myself to a level where I feel like I'm able to embody the intention for the night, and sometimes it means like chilling out and being able to get down to that level where I'm matching the intention. But for me, more often than not, it's a hope to be able to connect and be a conduit for connection during a performance. So a lot of that is going to be helping people to connect to themselves, helping people connect to each other, connect with me in the songs, and then hopefully ultimately have greater connection to the world in which they live. So providing moments where people can have metaphorical transfers into their own life and such. So knowing that that's my intention more often than to simply entertain, or I don't have the intention to wow somebody with my musical virtuosity. That's it's not really in my deck of cards, So trying to center myself to that intention. And then there's little things like I make sure that I drink a lot of water, and I make sure that I can try to stretch, get my body. Like if you've been sitting in the car all day and you're driving, and then you need to step up on stage and project songs and, embody this intention. Like if you're still in this mindset for a while, it's really helpful to stretch the body and get all the energies working together. Similar to the melody conversation, is making sure that everything is moving in the same direction. So making sure your body's ready and that you're healthy, and yeah. And then lastly, I think I try when possible to come up with a set list. It's not always possible, but more often than not, I don't follow it. But having the time ahead to think about the songs, how they match the intention, it gives you something to work from, so that you can spend more time present while performing and not thinking about what the next song should be. And then giving yourself the freedom to move away from the set list as you see fit. But I do like the practice of feeling like I have that preparation, so that worst case scenario, I can just follow it.
Another song.
All right. Another song. Well, that's an interesting thought. So when I was thinking about the songs and the performance, so that one I wanted to do for melody because it was newer. I didn't know what to think of for preparation, but maybe what I'll do is I'll play. This is a song that I more often than not will play as my first song, and I have maybe 3 songs that I'll rotate between as first songs, and that helps me get present and ready to be a part of a show as well, knowing that I've got these kind of introductory songs. So this is a song that's called Real Old. When I grow up, I wanna be old, real old. Hair on my face faded to white, real old. I wanna have tales to tell, I wanna have scars, I wanna have lived well and laughed hard. I want a lover's hand to stave off the cold. I wanna be old, to live my life like a year in a garden. Most of my fruits are better in autumn. There's plenty of work done in the spring, then it's picking the weeds and a few sweet things. I'll make it through droughts and rain and a few soft frosts. I'll show my age, not all that wilt is lost. I'll be laid to rest beneath the blanket of snow. I wanna be old. The Kerouac can't keep his blazing Roman candles, these momentary explosions of light. I'd rather be what you feel when you see a campfire. happened again was a few wrong moves with a bottle of gin. We all make big mistakes and get lucky too. We're slapped awake and then we muddle. But if we're lucky, we might find our souls before we're too old. Kerouac can keep his blazing Roman candles, his momentary explosions of light. I'd rather be what you feel when you see a campfire with a long, warm, beautiful burn. Oh, when I grow up, I wanna be old, real old. The run of my life, drip dry, real old. If I were a mayfly, I'd wanna see the day grow dark. If I were a fish in the stream, I'd wanna see the river start. If I were an owl, I'd wanna see years of moons. And if I were a field mouse, I'd wanna see those moons too. And if I were a tall tree, I'd wanna see my young grow taller. If I were a whale in the sea, every ounce of water. If I were a glacier, well, I'd wanna stay cold. 'Cause I wanna be old. Kerouac can keep his blazing Roman candles, these momentary explosions of light. I'd rather be what you feel when you see a campfire with a long, warm, beautiful, long, warm, beautiful, long, warm, beautiful burn.
Good song.
Thank you.
People want to check you out. What's the best way?
Oh, I think the best way in the internet world is ConnorGarveySongs.com, or just type in Connor Garvey into Google, and I think I'm the only ginger one that's playing guitar in these parts, at least. And yeah, so I'm out and about anywhere that people look for music. I think I'm there.
And I saw you were on CD Baby with your records.
Yeah, unfortunately, I stopped going to CD Baby a few records ago. So my most recent 3 records won't be on CD Baby, but they're available off my website or through Amazon or iTunes or any of those spots. Yeah.
Connor, thank you very much for coming on.
Wonderful, Ray. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me here.
Megan, another song.
Okay, so another song. I am going to throw caution to the wind, and I'm going to do a song. I told you I'm doing this challenge of writing a song every week in 2015. This is the song that I sat down to write this song last week, and then I opened up my old Gibson case, and there was a song waiting in the Gibson for me. So I had to write that one first, but then as soon as I finished that one, I wrote this one. And I've never played it in public, and I'm sure that it's going to evolve much from this, as we've talked about songwriting, as they do. But for now, I'm going to play you what I have. This is the one that I thought I really want to hear the banjo on. Then that's how I chose this strum, because it's got that banjo-y feel to me. I feel feet tapping through the floor, the sound of hammers on strings floating under the door. She's whiling the hours away. She plays her music most every day. She's seen life that I'll never know. Over 100 years, and she's still on the go. When I ask how she's lived all those years, she laughs till she cries, then She speaks through her tears. She says, live what you love and love what you do. Laugh with your friends and cry with them too. Sing every day, sing out loud, sing out clear. If you don't know the words, sing louder, sing stronger. Sing louder, sing stronger for all of the world to hear. She's walking out when I'm walking in. On her arm is a cane, on her face is a grin. And when I ask how she's feeling today, her smile tells it all. And here's what she says. She says, live what you love and love what you do. Laugh with your friends and cry with them too. Sing every day, sing out loud, sing out clear. If you don't know the words, sing louder, stronger. Sing louder, sing stronger for all of the world to hear. When she left us, the silence was deafening. So I climbed up the stairs to her room, and I sat at her keys with my hands on my knees till the song filled my heart. It was loud, it was clear, and I wasn't quite sure of all the words, so I sang louder, I sang stronger, I sang louder, sang stronger for all of the world to hear. I sang, live what you love and love what you do. Laugh with your friends and cry with them too. Sing every day, sing out loud, sing out clear. And if you don't know the words, sing louder, sing stronger. Sing louder, sing stronger for all of the world to hear. Sing louder, sing stronger for all of the world to hear. I'll sing louder, stronger. Sing louder, sing stronger for all of the world to hear. And that's how it ends today. Because I forgot I didn't figure out the ending until just now. That's called the Piano Player.
I like that song. You
Thank
just
you.
wrote that song?
I just wrote that song, and I just wrote the ending to that song right now.
Right now.
Yeah, because I forgot. It's like after the end, I was like, oh yeah, I never quite figured out how it ends. So it's going to end like that today. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It was a fun one to write.
Our performing topic today is what do you do when you're ready to go on stage, or if you're in a house concert, wherever you are, to prepare yourself?
Yeah. You know, okay, so I was thinking about this. I always warm up, but everybody, well, not everybody. My husband never warms up. But I do the lion's share of the singing, so that's okay. But I always warm up, and I always make a set list, which is sort of a... it's cause for humor in my band because I never follow a set list. But, like you mentioned in my introduction, I come from an acting background, and one of the Meisner, one of the basic acting things that they tell you is that you have to prepare and improvise. So you're standing off stage and your character knows exactly what you want, what you're going after, what you're trying to get, how you're going to try to get it. And then you walk in and the other character responds the way they do, and then you have to improvise, so because you have to be in the moment. If you just keep doing your tactics that you, the actor, decide to do, then there's no drama there. So so I always make a set list so that, because I want to know, like I think real hard about the ride that I want to take my audience on. And then when I get out there, I usually do the first song. I usually do get through the first song, sometimes even the second song. And then I can start really reading the audience. Mm-hmm. and they let me know where they want to go next, you know. And but I have to have the map, and then I can go off and do some off-road stuff. But if I don't have the map, I'm lost. I need it.
Yeah, I think reading the audience is a major importance for the performance to be good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not up there for me. I'm up there for us. We're we're doing this thing together, and that's what makes the magic shows is when everybody's like. Sometimes I'll do a song and you can hear the audience go. Afterwards, you hear them exhale, and I'm exhaling too. I'm like, okay, yeah. So you know what? We're there now. We're there. So I don't need to do this other song that I had on my list because we're there. So let's go over here now. Come here, you know. And then we go there together, and it's what for me that's what is so rewarding about performing. I love to perform. I mean, yeah.
I had said this a number of shows ago. The first person I had I asked him, "Will you be a guinea pig?" was Terry Revelle, who you know, Terry, from Jersey.
Yeah.
And we were talking kind of about on this similar subject, and I think he used the term, "The audience becomes part of the performance."
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was really a great way to say it.
Yeah, they are 50% of the show. There's you and there's them, and if there's not them, then it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're singing in your bathroom. So yeah, it's and yeah, I love my audience. I have some great souls who come out and they're willing to take. Sometimes it's a really emotional ride, you know. How I came to music is a pretty tragic story, and people will connect to that, and then. And they're willing to do the roller coaster. So yeah, I'm so grateful for that.
Okay. Time for one more song.
Okay. So it's time for one last song. So on the heels of what we were just talking about, I think I have to play one of my earlier songs. And this is a song I actually, when I first started writing, I didn't have a lot of songs. I filled in with lots of stories and stuff. And I usually ended a show with this until I got to the point where I had some happy songs, and I ended them with that. But I figure I'm allowed to end with a mellow song here. This is a song that I wrote. It's on wrote right after my fiance died, and I put it on my first record. And at the time I was living in New York, and when 9/11 happened, I was in New York City, and I actually recorded this song for the firefighters in New York because I felt like they might connect to it. It's called "Fly and Be Free," and I'm going to play it the way I used to play it. We don't play it this way anymore because we have 3-part harmonies and there's all sorts of instrumentation. But I'm going to play it the way I originally wrote it. Fly and be free. Fly and be free, he said, let me go. You need no anchors tying you to the shore. You've got oceans to sail and blue skies calling you. Fly and be free. Let me go. I have no more needs for you to fulfill. It's time now, you take care of your own. It's time to live what you've learned and take what you've earned through the years. It's time to fly and be free. Fly and be free. That's the greatest gift that you could give to me. Remember well that there's a heaven here on earth and there's a hell. So shine your light. The love that drew me in and held me tight. Fly and be free. So the world can learn from all you learned from me. Now that I'm free. free from all the pain I knew. Living on the wind and in your song. So don't fret over me, for I will always be the angel watching over you. Fly and be free. That's the greatest gift that you could give to me. Remember well that there's a heaven here on earth and there's a hell. So shine your light. The love that drew me in and held me tight. Fly and be free. So the world can learn from all you learn from me. Fly and be free. That's the greatest gift that you could give to me. Fly and be free.
That's a pretty song.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you have that. You said you had to have that on one of your records.
I do. I have that's on my first record, which is a 6-song EP, and it's a long ago record. It's my first, but it's a favorite for some. So.
Speaking of your records, how can people get your records? How can they find out where you're playing?
Everything you want to know about Meghan Cary is there's 2 places online. You can go to Reverb Nation and / Meghan Cary, or you can go to my website, which is meghancary.com. You just have to know the magic spelling. So Meghan has an H. It's Meghan. And Cary does not have an E. It's Cary, like Cary Grant. So all one word, meghancary.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook. I do a lot of, especially for gigs and stuff. I mean, especially for gigs, I post them on my page, which is Meghan Cary Songs. And but if you really want to know how to keep up, you should join my mailing list, and I'll let you know when new songs and stuff are coming out. If you go to my website, you can opt in there, and you'll get a free, I think, a free copy of the Wind Song, the first one I did.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Do you have your records on CD Baby or any other place?
Yeah, they're on CD Baby. Everything's on iTunes and Spotify. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
All the digital places. I get my like 50 cents when you buy
Exactly.
it. But you know what? It means a lot to me. It's
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
And of course, when you come to a gig, you can always buy a CD. And I love to.
And then you get it all.
And then I get it all. I get it all. And I get to meet you. So come.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about our next show before we say goodbye.
Okay.
Our next show, our in-studio guest is Jessica Gray. Do you know Jessica?
I don't know Jessica.
I think she actually lives in Delaware County here now, if I remember right, which I may not be remembering right. In addition to that, she also has won several awards. She's performed in 2 of the really good places in Philly, the Tin Angel and World Cafe.
Yep.
And I'm sure other places too, but those 2 particular places.
Great.
And our Skype interview is with a guy named Robert Stephen Williams, who lived in Jersey, but now he lives in Connecticut.
Did you? Yeah, I feel like I've met him. I wonder if I met him at NERFA.
Probably. He used to be an executive in the music biz.
Really?
Yeah, and then he left that and became a songwriter. And
he knew better.
And he's also a writer. He has a novel and short stories. In fact, he sent me his novel, and my wife's been reading that, and
nice.
Hopefully I'll get to it also. He studied songwriting with Roseanne Cash, Jimmy Dale Gilmore, and several other top country writers.
Nice.
And one of his songs, The Jersey Cowboy, there's the Jersey thing, was featured on NPR's Car Talk.
Cool. Very cool.
So that's next time.
All right.
Thank you, Meghan Cary.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. It was great. It was great to be here.
And we will see you live.
Yes, please. Please check it out.
We'll be back in about 2 weeks for our next show. Thanks.